Okay, today I'm going to teach you how to make a faux wrap for a keto diet, and it's really quite simple, and you will find that this is a great way to get started on a keto diet when you're getting rid of all of your bread products, your wraps, your breads, and you're trying to make stuff like wraps and sandwiches and whatnot, and you can't do it anymore because you started a keto diet. So here's how we do it. First, we got our 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese and 8 ounces of Parmesan cheese. Generally, you want to have 1 ounce each for a wrap. So I'm not going to measure this out, but if you ever do like 8 in a row, just divide your mozzarella and your Parmesan. This is an 8 ounce container. You just divide it into 8 portions. So first we will start with, it might be a little bit more than an ounce, but you get the idea. Got an ounce of mozzarella, and you want to mix that up really good. You want to have it kind of pre-mixed because you'll see why in a minute here. And then after that is a little bit pre-mixed there, we're going to shove it in the microwave for 30 seconds or so. You can play around with that. And what you're going to need is some parchment paper. 2 sheets actually. Make sure this is actually working for you. There we go. There you go. So you got 1 sheet, then make the second sheet. Then we have 2 sheets. Set the one off to the side here. You're gonna take your 30 seconds. It's kind of melted up there, and you got to mix it quickly. So we're just going to get this nice and mixed up. It'll be kind of a weird smelling, oily, melty mess here. Get it kind of in a roughly spherical shape. And then you're going to put it here. You're going to cover the top with that, and you're going to take a rolling pin, and you're going to start to carefully roll it out. Be careful at first because, and don't worry about a perfect circular shape, because you're never going to get perfection here. And as you do this more and more, you'll get better and better at it. But in general, you want something that's going to be big enough that when you make your wrap, it actually works. Don't worry about the weird fingers that you might end up forming. And you want it to be thin enough and big enough. And don't worry about going too thin on this, because you'd be surprised. Mozzarella is very pliable, flexible, and everything, and then the Parmesan kind of adds a lot of strength to it, and you end up with this very, very strong wrap that actually does not break very easily. And so it's kind of a goofy shape right here because it's the first time I did one in a while. And it'll be a little bit oily, but what you'll find is, and you can reuse these for as many wraps as you decide to make. What you'll find is that these can be stacked on top of each other and thrown in a freezer bag. Let's see if I can grab a freezer bag here real quick. Get yourself a 1-gallon freezer bag. And then you can take this right off of here. It's very strong, believe it or not. Now, once it's been cooled, it's actually really strong. There you go, and you can stack those up. If you're worried about it, you can put parchment paper in between them and make a whole bunch of these things and throw them in the, if you're worried about how long it's gonna last, if you're not gonna eat it within a week, you can freeze them. pull them out of your freezer. You might have to warm them up slightly. Be careful because it's cheese; it will melt again in the microwave. So you don't, when you warm it up, you just want to barely warm it up. And there you go. This is a faux wrap, and it doesn't really add any taste to the wrap that you make. Believe it or not, even though it's very smelly right now because I just cooked it, it smells like, you know, you imagine mozzarella and Parmesan to smell like. But when you have this thing, it's cooled off and you're eating it like a wrap, it doesn't really add any taste. Whatever your ingredients are that you put in there is what it's going to taste like. So it's perfect, and it's easy, it's simple, and there's basically almost zero carbs in there. This particular cheese that I'm using says 2 grams of carbs per serving. But there are mozzarellas out there. This is a Kroger brand. There's mozzarellas out there that have less carbs than that in it. Your Parmesan has 0 carbohydrates. So yeah, this is going to be really keto friendly. So there you go.